interview question that can really help you in your next Salesforce interview. So let's get started. The first question states that write an SQL query to get the accounts which has more than 5 opportunities. Okay, so we have to write a query to get the account which has more than 5 opportunities. Okay, so what we want is we want an account which has opportunities. First of all, we want account which has opportunities. Okay, so the query most probably will be on opportunity. Okay, so let's go ahead and write it. Select what I will do is ID from opportunity. Okay, so because I want the count of opportunities, okay, that's why I'm writing the query on opportunities. Okay, so I will be writing the query on the opportunity, and I will also specify the count of the ID because I want the count of the opportunities. Okay, but I also want to find out the accounts which are linked. I mean, we have to query the accounts which has more than 5 opportunities, right? So we also need the account ID along with that, which we are going to group by. Okay, so I'm going to write an account ID, and I'm actually going to group by account ID, right? I'm going to group by account ID over here, and we also need to find out the account which has more than 5 opportunities. Okay, so we will be using having clause over here, having count of opportunity ID greater than 5. Okay, so we are trying to find out the account, sorry, we are trying to get the account which has more than 5 opportunities. Okay, so we will get the count of the opportunities by grouping the account ID and having the like having more than 5 opportunities over here. Okay, so let's try to execute it, and this is what I'm getting. Okay, this is the account ID that I'm getting over here, and if I try to open it up, we can find out that this specific opportunity will have, or this specific account will have more than 5 opportunities, right? If I scroll down a little bit, so you can see all these opportunities most probably are greater than 5, right? So that's the reason why I can find this specific record. Okay, so if you want to get the account which has more than 5 opportunities, get the opportunity. Why am I writing it on opportunity? Because I want the count of the opportunity, so that's why I'm writing the query on the opportunity. Okay, so that I can use the count ID, and then I'm also specifying the account ID because I want to find out the accounts as well, because I want to find the account ID as well. Okay, and again, each of the account will have multiple opportunities, right? So I'm grouping it by, so that I can find under one account I can find, okay, this much, this many count of opportunities are there. Okay, so that's the reason why I'm grouping it by the account ID, and I'm applying an additional filter because I want the opportunities or the accounts which has more than 5 opportunities. Okay, so that's why I'm writing this specific query. Let's move on to the next question, which specifies that find all accounts that don't have any opportunity at all. Okay, so we are trying to find all the accounts which don't have any opportunity at all. Okay, so first of all I need to find out the accounts. So again, here I'm going to write a query on account, right? Select ID comma name from account, let's say. Okay, and I want the account, or I want the account which do not have any opportunities at all. Okay, so in opportunities we have a common field called as account ID. So I will use a filter using, I will apply the filter based on that, based of that field. So I will write ID not in, select account ID from opportunity. Okay, so what we are trying to do over here is that we are trying to find the account where ID, I mean, we do not find any opportunity with the specific account ID. So we will find all the accounts which do not have any opportunities at all. Okay, so let's query it. And these are the following accounts I can see which do not have any opportunity at all. Okay. Now, before moving to our next question, if you have any upcoming interview and you don't feel confident enough, then you can schedule a mock interview with me by clicking on the top mate link below, where I will ask you quite difficult questions which will actually make ready. You can watch out the reviews, what kind of questions do I ask, and they are really, really helpful in your real interviews as well. Okay, let's move on to our next question, which states that find a user who has more than 10 accounts. Okay, again, the count of this is nothing but accounts. Okay, I want more than 10 accounts. Okay, so basically I want the accounts the overall gist of the overall query is on accounts. Okay, I want 10 accounts or whatever the number of the accounts is, but I want accounts. Okay, so for that reason, the query here will be again on select id, or let's say from account. Okay, I want accounts, but again I want count of the account, because this is 10 is a number, right? So I want the count of the account. So again I'm going to use count of the account, and then I want to find the users who own more than 10 accounts. Okay, an account can be owned using owner id field. Okay, so I'm going to specify owner id field as well inside my query, and I'm going to group it by, so that for each owner, how many numbers of accounts do that user do that owner own, I can find out. So I will group by owner id, and then I will I want 10 accounts, right? So I basically more than 10 accounts, right? So basically I will write a having clause, having count of account id greater than 10. Okay, let's try to execute this query, and it's going to specifically return me all the like the owner or the person who owns the number of accounts greater than 10. Okay, so I have this specific owner. He is the owner. He owns more than 135 accounts. Okay, I think so. This is integration course user, of course, the user which I've logged in with already. So this was all the questions that I had to cover in this specific video. If you found this video helpful, I request you to please like this video and do subscribe to my channel. Thanks a lot.